Go. Now we're live. What was that? That was really, really weird. Okay. Welcome back, everybody. We had a little bit of technical difficulties there. Hi, how's everybody doing today? I just welcome back to Unveiling Addiction, where we are exposing the Suboxone epidemic and bringing as many people together as we possibly can regarding this epidemic. There are millions of people stuck on this Suboxone and are having a hard time coming off and that are in need of help. And I figure if we bring more and more people together and get different perspectives and different journeys, it's going to help more of us kind of come together and be able to liberate ourselves from this medication once and for all. So a year ago, I connected with a practicing nurse, Chelsi Cotton, and she came on and she had just done the Sublocade shot. So this is the second person I'm interviewing regarding the Sublocade shot. And she was still in the beginning stages of her journey. And so now, here we are a year later, and she offered to, I asked if she'd come on. She offered to go ahead and come on and speak about how she's feeling, what's been going on with everything. And sorry, I'm a little distracted. I'm sorry. I apologize. But she offered to come on and speak about how she's feeling, how the Sublocade, how it's working, how she's doing without anything, and just kind of get into her journey. We're going to do a little recap. Hi, everybody. It's so good to see you. We're going to do a little recap as to why she was on Suboxone, but really this interview, if you want to see more in detail why she was placed on Suboxone and that journey, if you go to my YouTube channel or go back to my page, you'll see one of my first interviews was actually with her. So we're going to get more into the journey of like the aftermath of everything and how she's feeling and what she's doing these days. What's up, Chelsi? How are you doing?
Hey, how are y'all?
Great. It's so good to have you. We have some people
Thank
in the
you.
house here. Jason, what's up, Jason? Thanks for
Hey,
being here. It's so
Jason.
good to see you. I'll be checking that out. Awesome. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate
Thank
it.
you.
Chelsea, thanks for coming on. How are you been doing?
Oh, great.
Yeah.
I
Are
don't
you
want to
wore
say
out?
perfect. I'm not going to say perfect, but I will say great.
Good. I love to
Great.
hear that. Awesome. So let's get into a little bit about why we don't have to go into detail like we did last time, but why you were placed on Suboxone
Right.
and how long you were on it and
Okay.
why you were placed on it, and we'll kind of dive
Yeah.
into what you're feeling like now after the Sublocade shot, because like I had mentioned, I speak to different people and I've spoke to quite a few people that it's been successful, but
Right.
I've also spoke to a handful of people that are saying it has not been helpful. So it just makes
Right.
me curious. I mean, we're all different, right? We're all
Right.
wired different, we're all programmed different. So whatever's going to work for one person may not work for the other person, which
Right.
is why we are doing this. So
Right.
that the more stories that we have, the more options that we can kind of choose from and what path we want to take, right?
Right. Right. So I'll give a shortened version of how I even got on the Suboxone. I had started taking pain pills at the age of 16. It was just when I could get them, I really wasn't in addiction at that point. Fast forward, I become a nurse in 2014, and that's when my craving for pain pills got more deeper because I was around them all the time. I was
Yeah.
a nurse. I was having to give them to patients and stuff. And so from the span, I would say it got relatively bad around 2016. So from 2016 up until 2019, 2020, it was very bad. I mean, I hate to say it, I was stealing them from my place of employment at the time. I was going to the doctor to try to get them any way I could get them. I mean, when you're addicted to something like that, you have to have them all day, every day. You wake up having to have them.
Yeah.
And so, I took them for a long time. And so I actually got caught at my job. They found them in my purse, and the nurse that actually found them, I still talk to her to this day. She was like, "I thought you were so mad at me," and I was like, "No,"
Oh,
because when they called me in the office, I just felt like a weight had been lifted off me. Like I know this is gonna sound strange, but I was kind of happy that I got caught because no one in my town would have ever thought that I would have been that bad off or was even doing it because I was so good at masking it. My
Right.
husband didn't even know.
Yeah.
Nobody knew.
Yeah.
And
That's what
so
made
I
it so easy, right? Because you could
yeah.
function, and we thought that
Yeah.
we were functioning better, right?
Yeah. Oh
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And so I got fired. They contacted the state board of nursing. That was a whole ordeal. Just the process of having to go through something like that, the financial burden that it put on my family. So that first week, because I couldn't get any more. I was fired, and I was going through withdrawals at that week, and I'm
Mm,
not a strong-willed person. I can't handle stuff. I'm very weak when it comes to that.
mhm.
And I had called somebody, and they were like, "Why don't you try Suboxone?" Never heard of that. Didn't even know my town had a clinic. I had no
Yeah.
idea.
Well, I'll never
And
do you mind that
so
I
I
asked how many you were taking a day?
so I think I was on the 1 milligram. I had the 2 milligram strip, and I cut it into fourths.
No, I mean the pain pills before you were on
Oh,
Suboxone. How
oh,
many were you up?
Jesus.
Yeah, I know. I was like on there were days I would take like 15.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
was between 10 to or no, it was more than 10,
Okay.
about 15. I would take them every 3 hours.
Yep, same.
And so I went to the Suboxone clinic, and the withdrawals were terrible. I will say it was not as bad as the Suboxone withdrawals. If I would have knew then what I knew now,
Yep,
I would have been like, no, I'm good. I'm just gonna deal with this.
that's right.
But I got on the Suboxone and was on that all throughout the my nursing probation, because you can be on that while you're on probation, but you have to be off of everything before they will give you your license and reinstate it without being on probation.
Okay.
And I did not know that at first.
Wow. Okay.
And so I would say the last month that I was supposed to be off probation or coming off probation,
Mhm.
um my probation officer was like, "Okay, well, you're ready to get your nursing license back, but you have to be off of this, and we have to have a letter from your provider saying that they think you're capable of being a nurse and, all that good stuff." And so I was like, "Oh my gosh, there's no way I'm going to be able to get off this Suboxone in a month." I had tried cutting it as small as I could,
Mhm.
but the withdrawals were terrible,
And
terrible.
how much did they have you on? So
So my Suboxone
Suboxone.
strip was two
Uh-huh.
milligrams, and I cut it into fourths. So
The
I think
2
that would
days?
be 0.5 milligrams a
Okay.
day. Yeah.
Okay.
And so I mean it wasn't a lot, but you're still gonna have withdrawals when you come off of it, no matter how much or how little you're taking.
Right.
And so I had got down to like a fourth of that 1/4 strip. I mean, it was teeny tiny.
Yeah.
And I tried not taking it that next morning. And I was like, "Oh my god, I can't do this." Like, I was crying, I was a wreck.
Mm.
And so I started doing research because I'd heard somebody talk about the Sublocade shot, and I
Okay.
had seen where a lot of people would get it that one time, and they just never went back to get it again, and they were fine. And I was like, "Look, I'm willing to try anything." I have spent over 20 grand trying to get my nursing license back, countless classes, all kinds of stuff. I mean, I had random drug screens twice a month. I mean,
Wow.
and those cost.
Yeah.
And I was like, I didn't go through all this for no reason. Like, we're fixing to do something. And I had told my husband, I was like, look, if I can't do this, like, I'm gonna have to take off work a week, and you're gonna have to take off work, and you're gonna have to lock me in a room,
Mm.
and I'm just gonna have to just go through it and
Right.
literally have 911 on standby if I start having a seizure. Like, I had to do something.
Right.
And so I called the clinic where I got the Suboxone, and I asked them, I was like, "Do y'all have something called the Sublocade shot?" And they're like, "Yeah, we do. But it's only, I think, 100 milligrams or 300 milligrams. They've only got 2 milligrams of it." But they were like, "But we're going to have to bump you up on the Suboxone to get you where you need to be on the 300 milligrams." And I was like, "No,
Okay.
I'm not happening." I just almost was able to take little to no Suboxone. You're not gonna bump me all the way up. And
That's
I
right.
said, mm-mm. So I hung up and I did research more. and I seen they had a 100 milligram, and I said, I want that one. That's the lowest one. We'll try it. What's the worst that could happen? And so
That's
they
right.
agreed. I will say, um, they were really good to me at that clinic as far as letting me decipher what I wanted to do and what I thought was best for me.
Nice.
They didn't give me a hard time. I mean,
Wow.
that doctor, I mean, he helped me with the state board. I mean, they were good to me.
And this was a Suboxone clinic?
Right,
That's
right.
interesting because a lot of
Yeah.
times they'll give you pushback.
Oh,
They
no.
want they
Well,
want
they knew how I was. I'm very headstrong, and we're gonna do it my way because 'cause I'm the one that's going through this. I mean, I'm
Gotcha.
not completely dumb, I'm a nurse, you know what I mean?
Of
So I
course.
knew what I wanted, and so they ordered it, and thank God, I think private insurances have a coupon that you can use and get, like, the first 3 months for free, so I didn't have to pay anything because I have insurance through my job, and so they ordered the 100 milligrams, and I had read that the side effects were, bad headache, nausea. Um, she did tell me, she was like, you might have a slight headache for a little while. So I'm going in there thinking, oh, piece of cake, I can do this.
Yeah.
I got that shot that day.
Yeah.
That next day, it felt like somebody had shot me in the head. Like it was,
Wow.
and I think you might remember me telling you about this. The side effects were terrible. I had to call into work, which my boss, very good to me. They understood what was happening. She was like, look, take all the time you need. So I was off for 3 days, and I was in bed for 3 days. The
Wow.
headache, the worst thing I've ever experienced. But
Wow.
saying that, I will say this, I would do it every time to be able to get off of it.
To be able to liberate and be
Right.
free. Yeah.
And so,
Mhm.
a month went by, and I think it was about a month and 2 weeks after I got the shot, I was like, oh my gosh, like I'm not craving anything. I'm not going through any withdrawals. Like I don't feel like I need to ask for another shot and so I just kept going every day. Every day I kept going. No cravings, no withdrawals, no anything. And that was
Where did you keep going every day? Where were you? You were going to the clinic or getting the where were you going every day?
no, I'm just saying every day after about the month, I wouldn't experience any withdrawals or
Oh,
anything.
okay.
So, because
Okay.
I would wake up that morning, for about a month after that, thinking, okay, am I going to crave anything? Am I going to be one of the people that, this didn't work for?
Right.
And that was a year and 2 months ago. And I've been sober ever since.
That's amazing.
So,
I love that.
and no craving. A lot of people, and I hate when they put everybody that's had an opioid in one big box, and
Yeah.
they think that what happens to one person is going to happen for everybody else, and they're like, everybody's got triggers, and I'm just like, they always ask me at every appointment, what triggers do you have? And I'm like, I don't have any, like nothing just really triggered me to, you know what I mean? And I think I was hiding from problems.
Mhm.
I wasn't, my marriage was not good at the time.
Okay.
Just kind of depressed, I just wasn't happy.
Right.
And so, even now, I don't have any cravings. I don't think about it. My daughter had a surgery about 4 months ago, and they had gave her the liquid hydrocodone. And
Interesting.
I remember I left it on the cabinet. And every time I'd go in the kitchen, I would feel my husband looking like he knew I've been good, but I guess just having that in my house, it kind of freaked him out a little bit.
Of
And
course.
I would look at him and I'm like, you ain't got to worry about that. Like I'm not at all. And
That's awesome.
so we end up actually throwing it out because I really didn't want to have to give that to my daughter unless I knew she really needed it and she was a champ.
Yeah.
And I remember calling him that next day after I threw it out, and I was like, it's crazy. I'm literally living the life that I prayed for 4 years ago. Like
That's
I really remember falling on my knees crying because I was going through withdrawals and was
oh,
asking God, like, why can't I have the life where I can wake up every morning and not have to take something? Or wondering if my kids are going to get taken from me because I'm not strong enough to get off of them. And it's like I'm living that life now that I prayed about so much.
I love
And
that
it's
for
like,
you.
why would I jeopardize that
Right.
just for a small moment of weakness? I'm
Right.
not.
That's temporary.
Not.
It's a temporary,
Yes.
it's literally temporary. It lasts what did he just talk about? A couple of hours and that's
Yeah.
it. You know what, Chelsea? The first time that I tried to come off of my Suboxone, I think I mentioned before I was on Adderall, Ambien, Xanax, and Suboxone, and I cut all of it out. And I was kind of bedbound. I wasn't kind of, I was
Yeah.
bedbound.
Yeah.
And I got like, I mean, I even got a month through and didn't want to go back, so it was like you get so far, just like you said, I'm not dosing back up. I've got this far, I've tapered
Yeah.
far down. Why would I go back, or why would I dose back up? Like, that's
Right.
crazy. And I remember being in my, because I was taking lots of showers because of the
Yeah.
withdrawals, or like you get hot and cold, you're sweating, you feel like shit, and like a lot of
Yeah.
times the only thing that feels good is taking a really hot
Oh
bath.
yeah, I would sleep in the bathtub
Yeah,
for the first week at night. My husband would be like, "What are you doing?" And I'd just be sleep. I
yep.
couldn't think of anything else. It was the only temporary relief I could get.
It was the only thing.
Yeah.
That's right, girl. It was the only thing that made me feel better. And I
Yeah.
remember one time I was in there and I'd already been in the bath like 3 times that day.
Yeah.
And I remember like being in the shower and just dropping to my knees and just and
Yeah.
just crying because I
Yeah.
could not, like, I had already come so far, and
Yeah.
I was having such a hard time kicking this. I had
Right.
kicked everything else, and it was like, and this is why, it's so brutal. The withdrawal is so brutal. It's like it puts you in a state of fight or flight that you're willing to
Right.
do whatever you can do, whatever
Yeah.
that looks like, right? To try to just liberate yourself
Yeah.
once and for all. So
Right.
I kind of want to go through the process of, so when you decided, okay, I need to get my nursing license back.
Mhm.
So I've got to come off of the Suboxone. So you started tapering yourself down, or did the doctor give you a taper schedule and he helped you do that?
They really didn't like nag me into tapering. It was pretty much what I wanted to do. But let me be honest, when I was on the Suboxone strip, I don't want to say it gave me a high. It didn't give me a high, but it made me comfortable where I didn't want to try to taper off. To be
Right.
honest, if we're being completely honest right
We
now,
are.
if it wasn't for the nursing board telling me you can't be on this stuff
Mhm.
anymore, I probably would still be on it right now.
That's right. Yep.
And
That's
so
right.
that was the biggest blessing for them to be like, "Mm-mm, you can't be a practicing nurse on this." Like I
Mm.
had to kind of, I was like, well, all right, so I guess we're gonna really do this now,
Yeah.
And so
So
that's
you tapered yourself down to how low of a dose would
right.
you say?
Right.
How
I
long did
would
that take you?
take so that 1/4 of the strip, I would cut it to like 3/4, and I take 3/4 for about a week. I tapered. It only took me about a month. Cause like I said, I mean, my husband was kind of like, look, I can't do these random drug screens because it was $100 a pop. And I mean,
Mhm.
so, I mean, I couldn't I was a financial burden for a long time, and I
Mm.
was tired of feeling like that, so I was like, we're fixing to cut down really
Yeah.
fast,
You
and
were like,
every week yeah, yeah.
okay. So every week for how many weeks until you
It
fully
took me about
loosened
a month to get down to that teeny tiny, but
it?
I
Mhm.
couldn't I mean, that I was stuck on that, and that's when
Okay.
I went to the shot. Now, the withdrawals wasn't terrible. I think, and you probably can agree with this, the very first one is back pain. When my back started hurting, I was like, "Oh, here we go." And the chills
Oh my
and the
God.
mood swings. My poor coworkers probably like, "What's wrong with this girl?" But they knew what was going on, but I just told them, I said, "Look, I apologize if I snap at you for the next month. I apologize if I cuss y'all out. I promise I will pray about it after, but I just need y'all to know this is not me. Just
Yeah.
FYI." And
Wow.
so,
Yeah. So we actually have some people in the chat I see right here. Let's see. I saw somebody said that I'm on 2 strips a day. The Earth Grid Rescue Mission. I'm on 2 strips. Oh, I'm so afraid of shots. I take 2 strips a day. Yeah, nausea. And does anybody have any questions for Chelsea? So I would like to kind of talk about how because something I've noticed is when I am uncomfortable, I tend to want to mask my feelings. And it's just interesting being off Suboxone because do you not feel a lot more aware of yourself and aware of
oh
your
yeah.
surroundings?
Yeah, definitely. The only thing that I realize that I kind of have now where I didn't have then, and it's so weird because I used to be like 270 pounds, and you would think I would feel less of that now, but the social anxiety. I do not like being around a bunch of people. I don't know what it is.
Mhm.
I, and it could, I don't remember being like that on the
Mhm.
Suboxone or the shot or whatever, but I am now. And,
Mhm.
but I just,
When
I kinda
when
learn how to work around that, like, especially the grocery store. I'll either make my husband go with me, and if he can't, I'll just bring AirPods and I'll just pop them in my ear.
Yes.
And I'm like, "I'm sorry if anybody tries to speak to me and I don't speak back, it's because I can't hear you." And I do that for a reason. I don't like feeling anxiety, and that seems to be the only thing that'll help me,
Okay.
because if I think about it a lot, it just gets worse.
Right. That's
And
so
so
interesting. That's what I used to do
mhm.
to go to the grocery store too, and it actually
Yeah,
happened when I was getting off of Suboxone.
yeah,
And I think what that is, you're clearing out, there's no suppression in there anymore.
right,
And so you're
right,
open to all of it, all the energy
yes,
surrounding you. There's no suppression. And I'm sure you're just sensitive too, especially
right,
being free of all of it. You're super sensitive and getting used to it.
right,
You
right.
you
Yeah,
ever
when I was on the Suboxone, I know this is gonna sound so bad. I rarely remember crying about anything. I had no emotion
Yeah,
whatsoever. Um, I didn't really want nobody talking to me. I didn't want to talk. It was just no, I was emotionless. And
yeah.
now, oh my gosh, I'll cry at the drop of a hat. And I love that because I feel like I can feel again, which
Yes.
is kind of strange, but I mean, it's true. And I've seen other people say the same thing, like their
Yeah.
marriage got better.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Been comparing old pictures of myself. I was so skinny and looked, a little bit on the unhealthy side versus
right,
how I look now. And
right.
I've noticed a big shift within me. But I will say, yeah, she says right here, I feel like Suboxone is affecting my psychic abilities. It is. I mean,
Yeah,
it's affecting your intuition. It disconnects you from yourself. I mean, listen, I was still very intuitive when I was on that medication, but I will tell you that
right.
when you come off of it, like especially when you're like I'm about a year off of it too now. I think you and
Right.
I are we're both about a year off
Yeah,
of this stuff. And
yeah,
you become very sensitive to the energies around you. You start really, I mean, there are some times when I'm like, oh wow. I'm like, I
right,
know now why I always wanted to mask because I really can feel other people and I can pick up on all these things around me
right,
and it's not pleasant like at
right.
all like
Yeah,
at all, but you learn to navigate it, you learn to get used to it, but you start connecting with yourself and start
yeah.
connecting with source and
I
there.
remember going outside one time, and this was about 3 to 4 months after I had taken that shot. I
Okay.
just walked outside and I was like, just looking, and my husband's like, and I was like, everything just looks more colorful. It's
Wow.
just brighter. Like it's very strange how your brain just changes when you get off that stuff.
Yeah.
It's different. It's a good different.
It's
But
just getting it adjusted and getting
yeah,
adapted to not having, somebody asked me, they were like, well, how did you, when you come off of Suboxone, it's so interesting because it was like, I could work out and do all the things, I can function, but I was just disconnected from myself.
yeah,
Like I was just kind of connected from myself and my
yeah,
emotions and emotionless, just like you said, and
yeah,
so whenever you're free of it and you go and you start working out again or doing the normal everyday activities again that are kind of a little bit more intense,
mhm,
it's a little bit more challenging because your body has to kind of get used to that energy without the suppression of. It's weird, it's like
um,
suppression but also helping, right? I guess
yeah,
it's kind of like numbing you so you're really getting after it,
yeah, like a crutch.
like
It's
it's a
it's
crutch.
it's a
Did you
crutch.
ever experience, I remember when I was coming off of that, but see, I went through, so for me, I didn't get the Sublocade shot. I just tapered down. It took me about
Mhm,
a year. I completely tapered down. And then, I would use kratom, which is very, very addicting too, to kind
right,
of alleviate withdrawal symptoms. And I would use it like 3 times a day, definitely before
yeah,
I would go to the gym because it's important to stay busy, right?
Yeah.
And it was important for me to go to the gym. That literally feeds my soul. And
Right.
I would use it, but I used kratom to help like alleviate the withdrawal symptoms. Where was I going with this? I don't even know. I had a complete brain fart.
Was you gonna ask me if I ever tried it or used it to
Oh,
help?
one thing that was like I would so mine was I mean cold turkey. So I tapered down to literally a
Right.
crumb. Then I completely took all my Suboxone and dissolved them. And just like you said, your mindset, you're like, all right, here we go. Let's
Yeah.
go. We're
Yeah.
ready. You got to get ready for it because it is a fight.
Right.
It is a definite battle. But one thing that I would struggle with is when it was cold outside. I would, because one of the symptoms is it's like you are bone chilling cold. It is so
Yep.
stinking cold. So when I would go into the grocery store, just like you, I'd put on my headphones because I didn't want to
Yeah.
talk to anybody, but also I'd have to like double up on all my clothes because I would be so damn cold.
Me
Did you,
too.
yeah, yeah, you
Me
experienced that?
too.
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it didn't help neither because kind of like a little bit after that, that I had got off of that, I started the Monjaro shot and lost all that weight. So that really was not helping with me, being cold all the time. I
Right.
stayed freezing. Me and my husband will fight over the thermostat because I try to bump it to like 80, 85, and everybody's like, I'm dying in here. And I'm like, I'm
Yeah.
so cold.
That I think that is one of the more I would even go into a grocery store, and if I didn't have enough, I'd leave and go buy get
Yeah.
another jacket because it was so cold and miserable. So
Yes.
I always layered up going through that
Yep. Me
process,
too.
Um,
Me too.
so it so you had one. How many shots did you have? I know I've already
Just
asked you this.
one.
You just had the one shot.
One.
They dosed you back up to what? What did they dose you back up to?
They didn't because I told them I wasn't gonna do that, so
Oh,
they let me do the 100 milligrams instead of the 300
okay.
milligrams, and so that's what I did. I took that one shot. The shot itself really wasn't that bad. I mean, it did sting, but in my mind, I'm like, "Look, I wanna get off this stuff. I don't care how bad it hurts. I'm just gonna do it."
That's right.
And so, I got the shot. It felt like a little wall sting, it wasn't terrible, but it was the headaches.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not gonna sugarcoat that, that was terrible,
I
and
wonder.
it's not gonna be like that for everybody neither. Everybody's different, everybody's experience is gonna be different, but for
Mhm.
me, it was the headache and the nausea, and it didn't last, a week. I think about day 3, day 4 is when it started getting better and I could actually get up out of the bed and
Wow.
drive somewhere. But like I said, I would do it again.
Yeah, just to be free. Yeah, what
Yeah.
was that like for you, not having to get up every day and put a Suboxone and dissolve a Suboxone in your mouth? Because you were taking them how long? How long were you
Oh
on the Suboxone?
man, maybe 2 years? No, 19, 20, between 2 to 3 years.
So what was that like for you? I think I mentioned to you before, when I started breaking free from all these medications, one of the big things was like just reprogramming and rewiring my mind.
Right.
Every single morning, I would have all my meds, my Xanax, my Suboxone, and my Adderall in my side pocket, zipped up. Right when I wake up, I'm unzipping it and I'm getting my meds. That was what I did
Yeah.
first morning every single day, no matter what. And I remember whenever I stopped doing all of that, that was one of the biggest mind screws ever. Like I even
Right.
wanted to get vitamins and put them in because it was just rewiring and reprogramming yourself not to have to do that.
So what's so crazy, you
What was
said
that?
that,
Okay.
is like I'm not good at taking medicines, antibiotics, anything. Like I maybe take it 1 or 2 times and I forget to take it and I never take it again. But
Same.
you best believe with that
Yep.
Suboxone, when my feet hit that floor, it was going in my mouth.
Yeah.
I didn't forget. It wasn't no forgetting. And I remember my husband saying one time, he was like, "You're so addicted to those." And I'm like, "You can't get addicted to them. I'm gonna feel bad if I don't take it." And he's like, you
Ah,
just heard yourself, right?
right.
And, I didn't come to terms with that until after I didn't have to wake up every morning taking it, and I was like, "Oh my gosh, like, you were right." And here I am trying to, like, tell myself, "No, I'm not addicted to those. It's rewiring my brain, or it's making me better. I'm sober." And now looking back, like, it's not sober. You
No.
know what I mean? I'm sober now, but when
Yeah.
I was taking those, that I wasn't sober then. I was just using it as a crutch. It's literally the same thing, just in
Yeah.
a legal medical form.
Yeah. So
And so,
when you would wake up in the morning, that's usually the first thing that you did. Like,
uh,
what was that like breaking that? How, I mean, how was that? Was that weird for you? Was it hard to do? Was it like
not
how long did
honestly,
it take
not
before you were like, it's out of your mind the next day? You know what I'm saying? Because I would still wake up in the morning and be so used to grabbing my purse that I ended up wanting to put vitamins in the purse and
right,
do that, right? And but then something's like, no, you have to completely do everything different.
right.
How long was it, or did it take any time
Um,
at all?
it really didn't. That really wasn't a factor for me. I remember when the first day I got the shot, because I was splitting them up so much, I had a lot of Suboxone left. And when I got that shot, I got home, I trashed them.
Okay.
Because if I have it right there, that might be like a notion for me to want to take it. So I wanted to get rid of them so I wouldn't have to worry about that. So
Okay.
I threw
Yeah.
them away, and, that first month, I didn't think about taking anything because I kinda had it in a shot form, but after about a month went by after I got the shot, I didn't think about it, and it's so weird because, like I said, a lot of people didn't have that success that I had, but
Yeah.
I didn't
You were
really think about it.
you were so same. You were so well, when I am referring to this, I'm referring as all the pills, right? But
Right,
when I was like, you were so dead set on, I am going to come off of this freaking devil
yeah,
drug, no matter what. Like nothing else mattered. You didn't even care. Like it just,
right.
yeah.
Yeah,
Wow.
like, and I mean, I had prayed a lot, cause like I said, like, I wanted my life back, and I knew I couldn't do it alone. My mom, she's, a author of a Christian book, like, I come from a very religious household, and so I grew up knowing that if you're needing help, there's one person you can call, and so I remember this parable in my mind growing up that he left the 99 to find the one, and every morning I would just be like, all right, I'm that one, but I can't do this myself.
Oh,
I mean, I can't. And so I would pray every morning, every night, like, I want this bad enough. I'm gonna fight for it, but I can't do it alone. And
yeah.
so I, I can't take all the credit for that. And
Right.
I'm not gonna give Sublocade all the credit for that
Right.
because I mean, there's a lot of people that still have cravings years after,
That's
and
right.
I'm blessed and fortunate enough not to have that.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so,
I love that. So I had a question and it slipped again. This keeps happening. Let's see. I'm gonna look in the chat here. We have you're a warrior, Chelsea. How are you
thank
feeling
you.
these days? I mean, you want to take us through like oh, this is what I was gonna say. So you were so dead set, right? Like you were
Mhm.
ready. I mean, you're like, this is happening no matter what, end of discussion, and so it makes me wonder, our minds are very, very powerful. And so you were dead
Yes.
set on it. You were going to do it no matter what. And it makes me wonder, is this why it worked for you? Because your intention was there.
Yeah.
People some people think maybe that they're ready, but maybe still have a little doubt, still have a little self, like they're discouraged.
Right.
I'm wondering if that, I don't know if you've ever read the placebo of like
Right.
You Are the Placebo by Joe Dispenza, and he goes into how powerful our mind is and how people, I mean, what the placebo effect is, and I mean, literally, people. I mean, these experiences are just so profound to
Right.
read about, but it
I
makes
do. I do think that has a lot to do with it because I'm like I told you, if the state board wasn't making me get off that, I don't know if I'd be off right now. I would like to think I would be, but I wasn't a strong person when it came to doing stuff that I really needed to do. I'm a very bad procrastinator.
okay.
I'm not strong minded in areas that I need to be strong minded in. So I really do think that if you're not 100% ready to change your life and
Yeah,
get off of it and stop using it as a crutch, you're not going to have that success rate.
that's perfect. That's it.
I don't believe you can.
That's exactly it. That's exactly it. And when I go back and forth with people and they're in my messages, I can always tell which ones really want it and which ones
Right.
are just like, how do I get off this? Or to
Yeah.
people will like go into this long spiel, like, and I can kind of feel them and I can feel that they're ready to be off and that they're ready to be free and clear and they actually truly genuinely want it. But then
Yeah.
there are a handful of people that are like, they'd like to be off of it, but also I just don't know if they're exactly ready for it
Right.
because you
Well,
have
and it's like I'd seen a girl, this was a while back. I don't remember if it was on TikTok or something. And she was like, well, I want to try the Sublocade, but I'm real scared of shots. And I said, man, I was to the point you could have cut me open with a knife and put that shot inside my skin. And I would have told you to do it again. Like, I wanted off. When you're ready, you're not going to care how you feel or if it's going to hurt. Or, I mean, you're going to do anything you can.
you're so ready.
And
Yeah.
so, yeah.
Well, I've spoke a little bit to. I interviewed a guy who did the Sublocade shot. He actually they dosed him back up. I think he did more. I know, and I think he did more than one. But he does have a successful story.
Right.
He is free and clear. I don't remember how many. I don't remember how. I just talked to so many people. It's
Yeah.
hard for me to remember. Like, oh, how long has it been for you? But
Right.
the only reason, and again, it's so important. She's cracking me up over here. Look at her. I'm sorry. She's like, she's like, she's having a heyday. No, you don't have to say sorry to me. That's hilarious. I'm glad you're laughing. That's so funny. I'm reading your comments. That's so funny. She said, because she meant to say, I hate that shot. And then, or I hate the shit. And then she said the shit. And she's like, she goes and she's like, damn autocorrect. And then she's like, then she tries to put Lord and puts Lort. And she's like, oh, good grief. I'm just like trying not to be distracted, but also it's very funny over here. So,
And I seen a comment that just said, I have an addictive personality. Yes,
okay.
I have ADHD,
Okay.
and I have seen people, especially women that have ADHD, they kind of have an addictive behavior, whether it's opioids, food, um, lust, pornography, whatever.
Yeah.
They have an addictive personality. And so I think that kind of goes hand in hand, especially if somebody that wasn't diagnosed in the right way or given the right medications for ADHD, it gives them like a dopamine hit. The opioids do.
Yeah.
And that's what I've seen a lot.
Okay. Interesting.
Yes.
Interesting. See, that's the whole thing. We're trying to gather as much information and all perspectives and what you've seen,
Right.
what I've seen, what people in the chat have seen, what people on TikTok. I mean, there are a lot of people fighting this fight.
Yes.
And I would like to say this, like, I think it's important for us to get as much information and all different perspectives because, a lot of people are wanting to run straight to Sublocade. And
Right.
I'm not against anything, but I will say Indivior are the people who created Suboxone. The people who created Suboxone are Indivior. And now they have created Sublocade and they are well aware of the millions of people stuck on Suboxone and refuse to put a taper schedule together for people.
Right.
They have no intention of helping all these people that are stuck on Suboxone taper down.
Right.
Instead, what they're going to do or what they have done is created the Sublocade injection. Okay. And
Yeah.
it's costing like $2,000 for this injection. So here we are. We have the people that made this trap in the first place. Now they're creating a solution to the problem that they created. And this is why I'm
Yeah.
like, I'm not pushing for it. But when I hear like
Right.
your story, but again, I think yours was more, you're ready.
Oh,
You
yeah.
were ready. You were ready and you were willing, and that was it. But I mean, I just
Right.
want to bring as much information to the table as I possibly can. I had
Right.
a guy reach out to me and he's like, hey, I'm on Suboxone. I was thinking about doing Sublocade. I'm like, listen, I can't tell you what to do, but what I
Right.
can tell you is give you some hard facts. And I just kind of discussed with them, everybody that I've spoke to, all the different
Right.
perspectives, all the different stories. I discussed how, I wouldn't really trust putting my power into the hands of the people that created this
Right.
first freaking place. right?
Yeah.
And I've recently come across some vitamins and supplements that helped me liberate myself off of kratom, and I used
Right.
kratom to get myself off of Suboxone. But it's
Right.
very, very addicting, and you have to be very,
Yeah.
very mindful when you're using it, because it can be used for like pain. They have like the red vein that can be good for like your pain or discomfort.
Right.
It's a more natural way, but it is also a very, very addicting way. So I
Right.
just think it's important to kind of, discuss those facts and let people know, like, nobody can tell you what to do.
Mm-mm.
All we can do is just, like I said, get as much information as we can and kind of
Yeah.
learn from each other and grow from each other.
Yeah.
So what's your life looking like now? I mean, you said your relationship, your marriage is
Oh
great,
man.
like everything's good. I
Um,
mean, when did you
yeah.
start seeing a shift? I mean, that was what you went through was a lot, and I'm very
Right.
proud of you. And I'm very
Thank
proud of you, and
you.
I really appreciate you coming on here and speaking your truth, because you are
Right.
a practicing nurse, and that can't be easy to do, and it means the world to
Yeah.
me that you've done this, and I appreciate you. But what's your
Thank
what's your
you.
life looking like today? How is it for
Um, well, I do have my youngest is 4.
you?
So
Okay,
whenever I found out I was pregnant with her, they took me off the strips and put me on, I think maybe it was just the buprenorphine pill that didn't have the naloxone in it.
Subutex.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
And so, anyway, I got off everything when she was 2.5 years old. So I've been off everything for about a year and a half now. I'm still employed at the same place, so I've been there for 3 years. Love it. They're really, really good to me. And so it's just, it is different, navigating. Like I said, when you're on the Suboxone, you're kind of emotionless. You're just like whatever about everything. And now, my youngest started school. It's a lot more chaotic. And I see like my nerves kind of get real bad very easy. And I'm like, everybody shut up, and I'm like, all right, let me chill out for a minute. And
Yeah.
so that's been an experience in itself, just learning how to
Navigating.
communicate,
Oh,
especially with my children, in a calm, relaxing manner.
right. Wow. Yeah.
So that's been a little bit of a hill to climb,
Yeah.
because I can tell my nerves get a lot more shorter now.
Yeah.
Whereas years ago, if you want to run around the house and act crazy, go for it. I don't care.
Because you could,
Now,
you could,
yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah.
And
I
so,
actually, the last interview, that's something that we talked about was navigating all the emotions that you're feeling,
right.
because it's like you're suppressing all this. You don't
Yeah.
really feel much. I mean, it quite literally numbs you. I mean, you don't
Oh, yes.
drive, like it
Yeah.
just completely freaking numbs you. So then whenever you're free and clear of this, you're like, whoa, like,
Yeah.
God, holy cow.
You're getting on my nerves real bad, like, yeah, yeah.
That's
So,
so
but
funny.
I mean, they can tell, um, and it also, I'm going to try not to cry about this. My oldest, which is 10, I was addicted to pain medicine the first 5 years of her life. And then from 5 to 8 years, I was on the Suboxone. So it's like the last 2 years, I've really been able to like connect with her because she didn't really have a mama the first half of her life, and her dad, he was in and out of jail with the same problem. Not my current husband,
Right.
but just FYI. So that's been a really it's different. I've had to learn some things, but just that she can have a mom that's like her head's all here now. She hears you, she sees you,
Mhm.
whereas I really didn't make time for her the first 7, 8 years of her life. She was
Yeah.
on the back burner while my addiction was,
Yeah.
front and center.
Yeah.
And
Well,
so,
she's 8, you said? She's
well,
8 now?
she's 10 now.
And but you're saying when you started the process, well, hey, you
Right.
know what? I unfortunately did not get my stuff together until my son was like 17, 18 years old.
Right.
Yeah.
Well,
So
she still to this day, and because I don't tell my children that she has no idea
yeah.
that I was addicted to that. She knew I took medicine every day, but I never told her what it was for.
Yeah.
So, and that's a conversation that I'll have when she's older
Of
and
course.
more responsible to be able to handle something like that. But,
Right.
and it's so scary because I don't care what anybody says. the genes that you carry
Mhm.
can often be passed on to your children. And that scares the hell out of me
Yeah.
because my genes with her dad's genes, and I'm like,
Mm.
oh dear Jesus, you know,
Yeah.
she's also has really, really bad ADHD.
Okay.
And so that scares me,
Yeah.
you know,
Wow. Yeah.
and
My son was aware, and the one thing
right,
he did say was, he's like, I never doubted your love for me. You always made sure you show, like, I never doubted. I just didn't understand. I didn't understand
right,
but it made him the exact opposite. I mean, he doesn't even want to take ibuprofen now. He wants nothing to do with, like, he won't take Advil. I mean, I remember
yeah,
he was sick and didn't want anything to do with any of it because he
right,
saw my experience and was like, nope, don't
yeah,
care, don't want to do it. Exact opposite. I mean, so I think it is
right.
a beautiful thing that you do have a conversation with her that,
Oh yeah,
yeah, for sure. Yeah, for sure.
definitely.
So, Earth Grid Rescue Mission says, what process do you recommend for someone going from strips to what she means to say is
The
shot?
shot.
That's it. So,
Um,
yeah, you know what you mean.
so everybody experience is gonna be different. I will say, um, if you're wanting to go from the strip to shot, please have let the least amount of chaos or like for example, the least amount of stress in your life because you're going to be dealing with a lot of stress as it is just going from a strip to a shot, especially if you're wanting to get off of something. Any little thing can trigger you, you know. So like I would not recommend it. Like let's just say you're living with your parents and they fight a lot or y'all fight a lot. I would not recommend going through that with something that's chaotic around you. You're going to need a lot of help from your family,
Yeah, support.
understanding, support.
Yeah.
So don't try to go into that alone is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah. And
That's not smart.
that's why we're doing what we're doing, right? Because I talk to so many people and they're like, nobody knows that I'm on Suboxone. It's,
Right.
I'm so embarrassed. It's so embarrassing. So they have no support system. I'm literally the only person that they speak to about it. And
Right.
that's why I'm like, I'm going to scream it from the rooftops that I went and did yoga this morning and I spoke to two different people that knew somebody that was on Suboxone. I guarantee somebody that's on it. They're
Yes.
not going to mention it, or it's just their secret or their dark secret in the
Right.
closet. It is so much bigger than we really realize. And that's
Right.
why I'm like, I'm screaming it from the rooftops that this stuff is being handed out like candy.
Right.
It's disgusting. They're handing it out for all types of addiction. I mean, it was originally created for opioid use disorder,
Right.
right? Like, you
Yeah.
prescribe somebody something addicted, you're going to get addicting, you're going to get addicted. There's
Right.
no disorder. You're addicted to an
Right.
addicting medication. There's no
Yep.
disorder, but the disorder that you're saying that there is, now here's Suboxone for your disorder that we created,
Right.
right? So, yeah, that's exactly why we do
Yeah.
what we do. And I couldn't agree with you more. You do need a support system. I
Right.
did this alone. I was alone. Nobody
Yeah.
understood what I was going through. I slept a lot. I tried to rest a
Right.
lot, and it was like, and I could sense, like, my family didn't understand, but I didn't care. I
Right.
was dead set on, I'm going to do this once and for all. I remember my mom being like, I can't believe you're still dealing with this. No, 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 no.
Yeah.
Like, I don't care what you think and what you believe. Like, I really
Right.
don't. And that's what I had to do. And it was very, very challenging because nobody understood. And
Right.
that's another reason why I'm like, this is why we're doing this, because
Yeah.
people need to be more compassionate and
Right.
understanding and
Right.
understand that they're not alone.
And I mean, you can do it alone, but I bet you probably wish you had somebody that understood you and understood what you were going through to make that process easier.
There was one person that I actually interviewed. He was the guy that was, he's actually on YouTube. He goes to like ancient sites, Wandering Wolf on YouTube. His name is
Mhm.
Michael Collins. I interviewed him, and it was beautiful the way the universe aligned us, or whatever that looks like for you, the way we were aligned. Because
Right.
when I started posting about Suboxone, he reached out to me and he's like, I came off of Suboxone and that was the hardest fight of my life. And every once in a while, he would go back and forth with me and be like, make sure you take lots of showers. Or he was
Right.
there for me to a certain extent. I didn't even know him that well, right? But he just had
Right.
empathy for me. It was the same guy that was like, I've come off of heroin and I've come off of Suboxone, and coming off of heroin was way easier than coming off of Suboxone.
Yes, it makes you wonder what is in that stuff
Right.
for it to make someone feel that bad coming off, if especially if it's worse than heroin, which I've heard as well.
Yep.
That's really scary
Yep.
that you're putting that in your body every day
Every
for
single.
years. I mean,
Yep.
it's crazy.
Well, let's see if we have any other questions here. We can wrap it up. Let's see. Jason recommended him to me. Methadone. Let's see. I have an interview. I have an interview tomorrow with I think he's actually in the chat right now. His name is Edward, and he came off of Suboxone too, but he and methadone. But he didn't take the Sublocade shot, and he's going to kind of walk us through his process whenever I have him on tomorrow. I tell people all the time that I would rather kick IV Oxy again than go through that. Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah,
for sure.
absolutely. It was one of the it was
And I
one of the
think what a lot of people are that I've read about or seen, the reason why they don't want to come off of it is because they're scared, which I
Yep,
mean they have a right to be.
that's right.
That's why I didn't. I mean, I was them withdrawals for the pain pills was bad enough. I didn't want to experience this. So I tried to kind of keep going as long as I could because I was scared.
That's right. Yep, and that's
So
literally what the two women today said. She's like, I know a woman that was supposed to be on Suboxone for X amount of days, and here we are 10 years later, and she's
yeah.
scared to come off. And that's what I tell people. I'm like, the first thing, your feelings are very valid, but the
Right.
first thing is there's nothing to fear but fear itself. Fear is not going to serve you. You have to be in the mindset and be ready. And I
Right.
always say, like, I know this is, some people make it, but make it your bitch. I mean, that's
Right.
the mindset you really have to have,
Yeah.
because you got to, because when I took those Suboxone and I dissolved them in hot water, I'm like, all right, let's go. I'm ready for whatever. It's funny, I'm getting
Yeah.
goosebumps right now. I'm ready for, whatever it is that is about to, we're about to, we're about to do. I
Right.
will say though, and this is what I meant to mention earlier before we log off here. I recently came across some supplements, some vitamins and supplements that was helpful to come off of kratom. It was called Quick
Right.
Fit, and I actually have collaborated with them. But the thing is you have to taper all the way down to a very, very low dose. You cannot be on Suboxone while taking these supplements. And it's like
Right.
NAC, vitamin C, magnesium for restless legs,
Right.
which magnesium, the restless legs is one of the
Oh, those were
hardest.
so bad.
Yeah.
Oh.
That's that and the anxiety, I think, is like one of the hardest things. But I will say, like, opioid withdrawal is all the same. Although I will say Suboxone has a half-life, so it lasts
Right.
a lot longer. Whereas in the kratom was like, okay, I did this for a couple of weeks and I seem to be good. I think
Right.
the only difference is you would just probably have to take these supplements a little longer than 21 days. And
Right.
I'm looking for people who are down to a very small amount that are ready to jump off of it. I'm trying to find 5 people that, and they're willing
That's
to give them
sweet.
to them for free, so
Right.
we can get a testimony, because again, I
Right.
don't use these supplements to come off of the Suboxone. I use the kratom and then
Right.
use the supplements to come off the kratom.
Did you
So
and you did you have any withdrawals at all while you were
a
taking
lot.
them?
It really, not really. I mean, the first
Wow.
was a little challenging, but nowhere near. I mean, when
That's
you go through
awesome.
Suboxone withdrawal, it's like,
You
when
can
you
do
start having
anything.
yeah, you're like, this is nothing. Like,
Right.
this
Yeah.
is literally like, oh, I'm a little hot and a little cold, a little restless. Like, this
Yeah.
is fine. Like, when you come off
Right.
the Suboxone, I mean, you literally can't, I mean, really do anything. I mean, you
Yeah.
just,
True.
but it also makes me like, okay, maybe I shouldn't speak like this, right? Because I don't want to make people fearful. But I've been through this, and lots of people have been through this, and I know that these supplements would be very helpful for people. We just
Right.
got to kind of start shining the light and getting it out there, and
Yeah. Yeah.
whatever. Does anybody have? I volunteer as a tribute. Reach out to me. You had mentioned that you
Please.
were on 2 strips. Yeah, because I want to hear. I mean, I'm trying to get with some people. There was like a couple of people I've talked to right now. I don't think they're down to a low enough dose to be able to make the jump. Because I mean, even though
Yeah.
it's a little bit easier, you still it's still not real. It's not like easy peasy pleasant.
Right.
Again, when you experience the Suboxone withdrawal, you're like, wow, this is a piece of cake
Right.
compared to what it could have been. Yeah, so Earth Grid Rescue Mission, definitely reach out to me. I think you said you're on 2 strips a day. We would have to get you to I'm shocked that you're still on strips because strips causes tooth decay. I'm s
Yes.
Yeah.
I
Did
was fortunate enough not to have to deal with that.
Okay.
But I feel like if I was still on them today, I probably would. Like, I will say my teeth are not as good as what they was before,
Okay.
but I still have my teeth, thank God.
Yep. Good.
So, I know there's a lot of other people that's probably lost half their teeth due to that stuff, and I'm like, "Oh my gosh."
I've talked to people who are literally like 30 years old that have no teeth at all.
Oh, that's
No
so
teeth at all.
sad.
I've lost 4 in the back. I'm having to and I
Yeah,
need to go get it fixed. I can go get them fixed. It's just like I've just went through chemo, had my breast implants out,
right.
doing Suboxone, da, 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 and I'm like, I just don't
Yeah,
want to be messed with anymore.
yeah,
But now I've got to do something with it because and how interesting is it that okay, this medication for addiction causes your teeth to come out. Okay. So it's like it's almost impossible to be able to go get a job or whatever with no teeth.
right.
I mean, this is all done by design.
Oh,
And
yeah,
other people will look at it as, oh, well, they're an addict, so they knew the consequences. No bullshit.
yeah.
Bullshit. That's a
Yeah.
bunch of bullshit. And
Because
that's
I didn't even know about that, about the teeth,
no.
until you told me. I
Oh,
had
really?
no idea that it caused because I'm
So
real funny about my teeth now, and I would have probably been like, this ain't gonna work," you
yeah.
know? I
Yeah,
had no
I didn't
idea.
I thought the reason I lost my teeth was from chemotherapy. I had no idea it was from I thought it was just a mix of a lot of things, but it was
Yeah,
mostly from Suboxone.
yeah.
Did I mention to you that I speak to a woman regularly who is actually right now in the hospital? Well, she was actually just discharged, but she got oral cancer in her mouth from the where her Suboxone was
Where she put a
withdrawal.
strip.
She has a hole in her mouth right now where they had to get a skin graft from her leg, put it she is fighting cancer, right? It causes dental decay and oral
Oh my
cancer. Yeah.
gosh.
Yeah. And she actually just reached out to me yesterday and she said that she doesn't, because she was taking generic, because she was taking the generic, that she doesn't qualify for, or they don't think it had anything to do with. She said, where I dissolved that strip every single day is where my
Wow.
hole is and where it all was created right there. Yeah.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh.
Yeah. So, I'm actually putting together like an email list because I want to all these experiences that I'm hearing from people, like not to scare people, but hey, look, this is what
Right.
it's doing. This is what it's doing. We got to get as many people
Yeah,
as we can off of this. So we're not dealing with all this shit. This is
right.
ridiculous.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
agree.
Yeah. So yeah, take good care of my teeth. Well, Chelsea, thank you so much for coming on. I
Thank
really, really
you.
appreciate you. I appreciate you and I'm so proud of you. And you're so cute, girl, with your cute little
Thank you.
accent. I saw somebody in the chat say something about your accent. I had
Oh, I
mentioned,
I can't stand it, y'all. That's one reason why because I have my TikTok page,
I love
and
it.
it took me forever to do a video of me actually talking because I feel like I sound like fried cornbread. And hearing myself talk, I'm like, "Oh my God, no, I can't post that." And then now I'm like, "I don't give a crap. I'm getting paid for it. So
People love
let's just
it.
talk."
Yes, it sounds cute. Absolutely adorable. I love
Thank
it. Well,
you.
thank you so much for coming on. I really appreciate it. Guys, thank you for being here. Everybody in the chat.
Thanks,
Oh,
Jason.
yeah. Yeah, I think Jason was on when you were on a year ago too. So I'm very
Okay.
grateful. Yeah, I'm very grateful for the people here in the chat. All right, guys. Well, everybody have a wonderful Saturday and we will be live again tomorrow. It's going to be 1 p.m. I'm the worst with time zones. I live in Florida. So it's like
Yeah, I am too. I can't help you with that.
well, that's all right. Well, I'm making a post about it. So if you want to know, follow my
Yeah.
Unfollowing Addiction Facebook page, and I'll post it on my personal page, Chastity Munoz. And yeah, you guys have a wonderful Saturday. We'll see you guys soon.
Thank you. Bye.
All right.